Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to start off a new series of videos looking at bike mods for super tall riders.
Now, as the name of the channel may suggest, I'm tall, very tall, 6'11" in fact. So this is my daily commuter, and for the great majority of people, I guess they would actually have difficulty throwing their leg over this. Currently it's sitting on a dolly just to help move it around the workshop. Very useful thing to have. Come to that another time, but what we're going to be having a look at here is we're going to be having a look at all of the different bits of the bike that you can expand to make fit, but also the drawbacks associated with doing each of those mods. So first things first, let's look at finding a decent platform to modify.
Okay, so this is Cycle Ergo. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Let's just add a bike here. Let's just go in. You can see all of the standard manufacturers are here, pretty much everything that you're going to want to go for. Let's choose Kawasaki. Let's go in and choose a 2013, let's say. There's a very specific reason for doing this, for the 2013 ER6N. Nice enough bike. Now for a normal person, that's a good fit. But you'll notice here, the rider info section has height of 5'9". Now my height is 6'11". You can see what happens as you spin that on up. Inseam is indeed 37. Now that is not a good look for several reasons, and you might be thinking, well, hang on, how realistic is this? Well, let me show you a picture of me sitting on exactly this bike. There you go. So I'm going to flick that up again in a sec. I want you to notice particularly the triangle of the hip to the knee to the ankle. That there is what is going to determine your long-term comfort when you're riding. That and the angle of your back. So again, let me just flick across to that other picture. This thing really is staggeringly accurate. So basically, by going through this and adding a number of bikes from a number of different manufacturers, and I went through just about everything, I came to a conclusion, and the conclusion is tall riders, adventure bikes are your only choice, really. You're not going to ever get onto a sports bike. Sports tourers are going to leave you with uncomfortably cramped ankles and knees. You're going to get cramps in your upper legs and your calves. You're not going to be able to change gear. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Cruisers you can sometimes get away with, but sports bikes are definitely out. That's just how it's going to be. My advice to you is go for, of the big four, Suzuki. Now, the reason I would suggest going for something pretty mainstream is because there is an awful lot of aftermarket components available, and everything that I'm going to be showing you in this and in the subsequent videos in this series are things that I've ordered just from eBay or from Amazon. All right, so let's go in. I'm going to go into Suzuki. I'm going to choose DL650. Mine's a 2009. In 2004 to 2010, there was a DL1000 and there was a DL650, both the same platform, exactly the same size. All of these mods and so on I'm going to mention would apply to either of them, but I'm going to go, as say, 2009 DL650. And you can see it's not perfect, but it's an awful lot more comfortable. Straight back, and you can see here the hip angle and the knee angle are basically the opening up this triangle is the key. Now, what we can do in this program that's particularly special is we can go in and we can customize the bike itself. So one of the things that I did on mine is I raised the handlebars by effectively 2 inches. I pulled them back by 3/4 of an inch. The seat is padded, so instead of this section being so cut away, I've filled that out with some extra foam, so the seat rise is up by about 2.5 inches. Peg forwards offset and peg rise, well, you can go into negative figures here. I dropped it down by 1.25 inches and pulled it forwards. So the rear set adjustment that you can make to these allows you basically to sort of model what you're going to look like on this thing once it's all set up. Now from this I determined it was going to look a bit weird for me anyway, so I put a top box on, and the top box luggage does help to reduce the slightly weird look. You can also, and this is a really nice feature with this, you can also put a passenger on. So if you do go 2 up, you can put in the details of your passenger. So if my missus was to come with me, that's what she'd look like. Now, there is a top box in that spot, so she probably wouldn't fit too easily there. But you know, we can model things. Now, if I go on to the 650 again here, you can see an awful lot more comfortable, suddenly within the realms of possibility. Okay, so let's just choose a CBR 600 race replica just for the crack, just to see what would happen if I was to sit on one of these. And there it is, you see, that's the problem there. Your hip angle, your knee angle, you could just about go in a straight line, but not for very long and not very comfortably. The amount of buffeting that you're going to get in your chest from wind ripping past it is going to be unbearable. You're not going to be able to get close enough in for this to be comfortable. Certainly I can't anyway. And the main issue for me is obviously with gears, you're going to have to raise your ankle on the other side of the bike in order to be able to flip up the gears, and I can't do that in this position. I actually can't raise my ankle any more than it already is. So you know, very, very difficult and compromising your ability to ride the bike. Now, what I would just like to point out with the bikes that I've looked at here, one of the important details, even if you didn't do anything with the seat, one of the important details with this bike that makes it so very comfortable to ride, particularly on long distances, is that sit up and beg driving position, and the fact that you've got very nearly a right angle in your knee. And that makes it extremely comfortable. So what I would recommend that you look at doing is making modifications to the bike, not necessarily that lift it up to increase the seat height, because the seat height is, when you're going along, absolutely irrelevant. Seat height to the floor is a nonsense. When you're at lights, for instance, yes, fair enough, you are going to be able to need to put your feet on the floor on both sides. But what's really important, and this is the thing to be looking for, is that triangle, because that is going to determine your comfort as you travel. Okay, so that is Cycle Ergo. Log into that, dial your details in. It's super easy to do, and just have a play with it and see, is it going to help you? Let's just close these other two out here. Is it going to help you to actually make adjustments to the position of the handlebar? Is it going to help you to pull the pegs forwards? Is it going to help you to lower the pegs down? So lowering the pegs and bringing them forwards is going to open up your knee, and that is really important if you're going to be traveling long distances. Now, of course, there are lots and lots of other choices out there. Two other really good options, real honourable mentions here, would be the Triumph Tiger. That's the cross-country version that has a 19-inch front wheel, the Explorer XC, and of course the classic R1200 GS. If you want to drive the length of Africa, there's the bike for you. But the sheer cost of those bikes can be prohibitive. Also, certainly in my experience anyway, the options for aftermarket components are materially more limited than with the Japanese manufacturers. I don't know why that should be, it just seems to be so. Certainly the cost of the things that are available is much greater, and market forces don't apply because there is really only the manufacturer's option. There isn't anything else that could challenge them for price. So there you go. I hope that's been useful. If it has, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Click the bell as well. There will be another, I don't know, half a dozen or so of these videos looking at the various different modifications you can make and its pros and cons, not just how to do the mods. So things to consider coming up over the next week or two, as I say. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you next time. Cheers.